30 or 60 more seconds for anybody who might be joining at the moment. And then we'll go ahead and get started. My name is Mark Settle. I'm with IowaDocs, and I'll be leading the webinar today. But I'm going to go ahead and pause here for about another minute. We'll start right about 1 minute after the hour, and then we'll get moving.
Okay. 3:20. Do I have to do anything here?
Yeah. That's not just a black and white one, is there?
No, it's just.
Oh, then you're okay. Save it.
No.
All right, I think we gave everybody 1 extra minute to get onto the call here. We may have a few still joining, but I think we'll go ahead and get started. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Mark Settle. I work for IowaDocs Corporation, and I'll be leading the webinar today. We'd like to welcome you to the first webinar for IowaDocs and the IowaDocs market. The purpose of our call today is to help you get the most out of your subscription to IowaDocs, and by learning a little bit about how to navigate through the content on the market and how to use it. And you'll see as we walk through this today that the benefit of the market is that now you'll have access to that content, but without the need to install any software. So what that will allow you to do is access IowaDocs content from within a web browser. What that means is that a Mac, an iPad, a Surface, or other users that are not using a Windows PC will now be able to access that content and utilize it. So what we're going to walk through today is we're going to walk through viewing products, subscribing to the product, how to work with the content, answering the questions, saving your answers, sharing that content with others, as well as managing your subscription. So as we move along, we're going to treat this webinar as fairly open. So if you have a question as we go along, please feel free to interject. If that question is going to be answered somewhere later in the demo, I may just say we'll come to that in a moment so that we can keep the flow of our webinar going well today. Also, if you are not currently asking a question, I would ask that you could mute your telephone line, or if you're connected via the GoToMeeting, to mute yourself there in the GoToMeeting so that we eliminate any kind of background noise or distractions. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started. So bear with me 1 second. All right, so what we're going to cover today is all of those different pieces of the market. So first, what is the IowaDocs market? The IowaDocs market is a publishing platform where publishers such as the Iowa State Bar can host their IowaDocs content in a marketplace so that subscribers such as yourselves can come and use that marketplace, like I said in the introduction, to be able to access that content through your web browser and then be able to utilize it in a thin client experience so that you can access it from your PC or from some other device with an internet connection. So we'll see here what I have on the screen is the home page for the market. Now what I've got on the screen at the moment is the production site for IowaDocs Market, which is what you've been directed to in the mailers that are going out from the Iowa State Bar as you get that information, direct you to this current production site. As I demonstrate today, I'm actually going to use a demonstration site because that allows me to be a subscriber. And so I'm going to be using a demonstration site that is not quite as fast or as beefed up as far as performance goes as the production site, as well as it's all test data. But you will see I have the IowaDocs product uploaded there, so we'll be using that as part of our demo today. So if you go to the IowaDocs Market site that you've been directed to in your announcements, you'll see that there's currently just a single product up there because IowaDocs is the first pilot user of the IowaDocs Market, and there will be existing other content coming to the market in the future. But currently, as you go to the market, as you look at the market, it'll drop down, and the only content you'll see there currently is IowaDocs. But then there's other information here where you can find out about the market, how to publish to the market, get any kind of help or contact information as well. And what I have on the screen is the home page. So I'm going to go ahead and close the production site because, like I said, I'm going to use this demo site. That you'll see looks exactly the same, except we're just going to see some more content there. So let's go ahead and take a look at some content. So if I go to the market here, you can see I've got 4 little test products up here. One of those is IowaDocs. The other three are not really of concern here, but what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and go to the IowaDocs product. So if I were coming onto the market and wanted to access IowaDocs, I would just click on Market, hit IowaDocs, and it will take me to the IowaDocs product view. So this product view is meant to give you as much information as possible about the publisher and the content, and it's what the publisher chooses to put up there with their content. So in this case, the Iowa State Bar listed this information about IowaDocs. You can see there's 686 templates there in the IowaDocs product, and you'll see both an overview. You'll actually be able to see the library of content before you make your purchase, as well as any reviews that there have been for the product. On the right-hand side, you'll see some subscription options that are available to you, maybe some more recent reviews. You can see my nice review, very positive, of course, and then you'll have an option to see some other information. Now, the IowaDocs product is restricted to Iowa State Bar Association members only, and so there's actually a subscription list that is maintained by the Bar Association, and you have to actually be able to log in as a member that is a part of that list to be able to access the content. And so the Iowa State Bar is managing that. Let's take a look real quick. The overview, you'll see whatever description is placed there, as well as a preview. That preview is simply images of content that are posted with the product. In the library, I'll actually be able to see a preview of what that library is going to look like. So here we can see the IowaDocs 2015 library, all of the subfolders. If you're a current IowaDocs subscriber, this would be very familiar to you, the same folder organization that you've had there in the past. I can search through that content to see if there's forms that I want before I make a purchase. Can't use that content, but I can certainly search through it and see what content is there. And then for reviews, I could go through and view any of the reviews that have been posted for this site, or for this product, I'm sorry. In the lower right-hand corner, we see a little bit of information here about publisher membership because this product is restricted to bar members only. I can also see publisher information as well as support information for the publisher who has published this product. Let's go ahead and take a look. If I go to view full profile, I'll see the Iowa State Bar Association's profile there with any details that they've provided and a list of all of their products. So right now, just IowaDocs. I'm going to go ahead back to the product. You'll notice as well, this is the IowaDocs support number, but as you use the HotDocs market, HotDocs is also providing front-end support for the market. Content questions, can be directed to the State Bar Association, but we also have you have the added benefit of being able to contact HotDocs support for questions as you're using the market. And so that information is readily available to you on most of the pages here on the right-hand side. You'll see a customer support widget there with contact info. I'm going to go back to the IowaDocs product. Now, what I need to do to be able to subscribe to the products, I actually have to log in because I need to use an email that's part of that IowaDocs list. So I'm going to go log in to add this to the cart. So I need to create a new user here. So I'm going to go ahead and register in this case with a new user. So I click that. I'm going to call this is going to be a very fictitious name, Iowa User 1. Hopefully I've gotten my names correct, email correct that I set up as part of the Bar Association in my settings here. So I'm going to just verify that I'm human there with the CAPTCHA, accept the terms and conditions. You can certainly read through those terms and conditions, and then I'm going to hit Create Account. Take a second to create that account. Again, this is the demo site, so not quite as quick. And now, because it is verified that my email address for the user that I'm logged in as is a part of that membership list, this is actually available to me to add to my cart. So I can go ahead and click Add to Cart. All right, so you'll see very standard purchase as you're going through, and to add this to your cart, you simply select the quantity that you want. The way I've set up this product, it may not mimic exactly what's set up by Iowa State Bar, so I will say as a little caveat, I've got, I think, the price matching what they had for an annual subscription, but I don't know about the discounts and things. They're not matched correctly here, so don't worry about that. What is on the actual market is what is correct. But I can choose my quantity, and then I can hit Proceed to Checkout. And then I'll just need to provide my billing details, which I do need to provide an address to go along with that. So I'm going to call this the demo site, so I can put some fictitious information here. We'll be in Des Moines. I have no idea what zip codes are there, so that looks good. My billing address is the same as my mailing address. And I am just going to pull this off the screen for just a moment to enter a credit card. This is my go-to meeting either. I guess I can't hide that credit card either way. Once I'm done, I'm going to, bear with me, I'm going to bring this on and off the screen for a second. So I'll enter a credit card, and I'll be able to review that, and then I'm going to hit Review and Approve after I've entered that credit card information. This credit card information goes out to a credit card sourcing information. We do not store full credit card information long-term, simply the last 4 digits so that you can recognize the card that you're purchasing the product with. So I'm going to go ahead and do that off the screen just so that you can see that number. Okay, so after I hit Review and Approve, it takes me to a confirmation screen where I can review my order and accept the terms. So again, I can read the terms and conditions of that payment. I'll see any tax applied that may be applicable based on where I live, and then hit Complete Payment. And that will go ahead and complete the payment and take me to a confirmation screen where I can see a reference number with that, and then I can actually go to My Subscriptions to access that content. So My Subscriptions or My Account is where you're going to do most of your work to actually use that content. So as I go to My Subscriptions, it takes me to the home page for my account. So as a user on the market, this is kind of your home working page where you can access your subscriptions, any of the products that you're subscribed to. So in this case, we have our user, Iowa User 1, that is subscribed to the IowaDocs product. And you can see access to that there. On the left, you can see, or on the top here, top left, you can see latest working sessions. A working session is basically an answer file. So as you've worked, if you have worked with the IowaDocs product in the past, and you have that option once you start an interview to save an answer. In this case, a working session has an answer file related to it, and you can use one or more templates with that working session. So we're going to create some of those in just a moment so you can see how that works. On the right-hand side, again, you can see the customer support information as well as a did you know about sharing your application or your content. And then also, for a period of time, the desktop format of IowaDocs will also be available to you. So if you have subscribed to it but you want to use it locally, there is an option here to be able to download the desktop format to use with HotDocs Player locally on your machine. We're going to come back to these other tabs up here, but you'll see as well, I can see any transaction history for any products I purchased. We'll talk about content sharing, connected applications, and what information it stores about me in the market. All right, so now let's look at license options. So I can see in my subscriptions here, I have a little drop down for license options where at any point I can choose to purchase more users or manage content sharing. That's where I could actually share. I actually purchased 5 licenses, and I'm only using 1 of them right now. We're going to come back to that when we get to content sharing. So let's actually use the product. So let's go to IowaDocs, and it will load the library there. Notice right there I can also download that HDI, same thing as that button up there. So there's my full library. I can simply come in and select a form. So let's say I want to do 119, I think. We'll do the durable power of attorney form. So I can search through that content. So you see how easy that was. I'm just typing a form number, and it brings me some search results. Or I could find that, I don't remember exactly where that form is. I think it's in Well, I'm not even going to search because I don't know exactly where it is. But I'm going to go ahead and select it from my search. But I can navigate through any way I want here and select a form, or I can search through the list of content. So if I want to generate a document for that durable power of attorney short form, I just click that link. The market is going to give me a prompt for a couple of things that I can do here. I can start a new session and provide a specific session name for that session, or I can upload an answer file. So if, as you transition from using prior versions of IowaDocs on your desktop, or if you're currently using it on your desktop and you want to upload some things to the market, you can actually upload an answer file to use with this session. Or I could even select an existing session. I don't have any of those yet. For the session name, I can put whatever I want. It does give you a default name based on the template you've chosen and a date. Let's say I was working on this for a specific client. We'll just say John Doe. And maybe I want to put a matter number with it. I can name that session whatever I want. I'm going to go ahead and hit Create New Session. What that's going to do is start a new session and take me right into a browser-based interview for the Durable Power of Attorney short form. It's going to load that up. See a little IowaDocs splash screen as it loads the interview, and then I get my interview process. Now, I didn't fill out the pick list first, but your pick list information will work. Mine's going to be blank because I haven't answered anything in the pick list yet. But now I just go through and fill out this interview for this form. So if you are a current subscriber, this interview should look very familiar to you, and that's because the structure and the questions that are asked in these interviews will be the same as you're used to, as you've always used with IowaDocs. It's just hosted in the browser. So you'll see the interview outline on the left-hand side, the actual questions, and a navigation toolbar down below. You'll have a simple toolbar here in the upper right that will let you save your answers, preview the document content, get an answer summary, and then you also have the resource pane available to you at any time for any help resources that might be assigned in the template. And so now I've just got to fill out the information. So we'll say the attorney is Jennifer Davis, and I'll just put in a fictitious number here. So as I fill out the interview, I'll see all the same hints, and I have all the same navigation buttons and keyboard shortcuts that I have in the current version of HotDocs. And so I can use all of those same shortcuts. I can navigate on the interview outline, and I can navigate through this interview and complete it as I choose. So I'll say I'm the preparer. I'll be at 456 Main Street. All right, and an interesting thing about the browser-based interview as well that you'll notice is as I'm filling this out, I see a little bit of a progress bar down here. That is something that's unique to the browser-based interview in the market, or the browser-based interview, whether it be through the market or another application. It gives you a little bit of a nice overview of where you are in the interview process. Also, you may have noticed this as we've been going, but you'll see this say not saved and then saved. Your answer session is automatically saved every 30 seconds. So if you're working in the form and you don't have to remember to go hit save every time. Now I can manually go save at any point, but as I'm going through, it's auto-saving for me related to my answer session that I'm working on. And also here in the upper right-hand corner, I can see the template name, and I can also choose another template. I can actually change templates at any point during an interview process if I want to. We're going to do that a little bit later. So I'm going to go through, and we'll fill out a little bit more information. I may leave some fields blank in this template. I will say send tax statements to David Johnson, yes. And we'll say see page 3. We'll just fill out some information here. Now I'm going to leave the rest unanswered here. But you can see the interview works in the same way. Still have a calendar to select my dates and all of those things. We'll leave these blank. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you, at any point I can get a preview of the document. It's a PDF template, so I see a PDF preview of that content there. So I can see a PDF version there. I can toggle back to the interview. I can also see an answer summary. So I can see a summary of all the questions and answers just like you would in the desktop version. Once I'm done filling out the interview and I want to get my output content, I simply click Finish in the lower right-hand corner. It'll warn me for any unanswered questions. I wanted to leave some unanswered for that purpose, so you can see if I've left some questions unanswered, it will warn you. And you can choose to continue still and generate a document, or you can hit Cancel and go back to the interview to complete that information. I'm going to hit OK. And then I get presented with 2 download links. One where I can download my output file and open it up and print it, save it, whatever I want to do with it. And the other is you still can download that answer file if you want to download that and save it locally in some way. So this is going to be just a standard browser download handled by your browser on whatever machine or device you're using. So if I click this link, here you can see I'm going to get the standard Internet Explorer Open Save dialog. I'm just going to hit Open. That's going to open up an Adobe Reader for me. And there's my completed form. Well, partially completed form because I didn't answer everything. That's your basic process for going through the interview and generating a document. And now I could go back to my account. And I'll see now that I've got a working session there, John Doe matter 15683, and I've got no in-progress sessions. In-progress sessions would be I went through and I answered some questions, and I saved and left without ever answering or generating documents. That's what an in-progress session is, a nice, easy way to find ones that you may have been kind of in the middle of. And so this shows up as a completed one because I did generate a document. But by default, you'll see them all together with where your progress is. Now let's say I want to generate another document. I'm going to go ahead back to the library and search for power of attorney. I think there's some longer ones. I'll do 123 now, combined living will and medical power of attorney. I'm going to select that template. It's going to give me that same prompt again. Now I could start with a new session again and answer all those questions again, but if there's some answers that flow between those 2 documents, and this is for John Doe, I might want to pick up that same session, so I could just hit Select Session. And it will show me any of my sessions. I can pick them out by dates or search through all of them. I've just got one so far, so I'm just going to hit Add to Session. What that's going to do is it's going to open that session up, but with that specific template. So I'll see all of the previous answers that may apply to any of the previous sessions where I've entered some answers. So it's going to load up that combined living will and medical power of attorney. And you can see the name of the attorney came across, some of the additional provisions, some of the other things that were also in that short form durable power of attorney. And so all my answers come in, and I can just come through, answer some additional questions. I'm going to put some gibberish in here for the moment. And so you're going to see some gibberish just so we can answer. We're going to answer everything this time. Not a very good document, but we'll go ahead and make sure we've got everything answered. A nice little shortcut, if you didn't know it, in HotDocs, you can type T for today's date. Yes, yes, yes. And, oh, what's a no to all of this? All right, so notice, I'm going to fill this out. All right, so now I've got a completed interview. Everything is answered. Now I could save my answers at any point, or it will cycle and save. So right now it says not saved. So if I want to save it myself, I can just hit save. Now it says saved. But if I want to switch back to a different template at any time during the interview, I can hit use another template. And it'll show me the 2 templates that are already associated with this session. So I started with the 119, and now I've added the 123. I can switch over to that 119. And without having to go back and select a form, it's going to switch back to that 119 template. I can answer some questions to complete that and generate a document. So I don't ever have to go back to my account. I can always just switch templates. So here I could come through after it loads up, a little bit of information that needs to be finished here. We're going to put gibberish in here again. And I can finish this, generate my document. I could download that document, save it, and print it. But I don't have to go back to my account. Now if I wanted to get 123, I could just hit that use another template, let it load that up, answer the questions that I might need to complete there, and hit finish and get my completed document. So you can see those answer sessions really give you some benefit of of being able to work with multiple documents for maybe the same matter or the same client as you're working on a set of documents. And so you can easily switch, answer those additional questions, and hit finish. And then generate that document. And then when you're all done, you might go back to My Account. All right, so then as you keep working, you just may continue to create more and more sessions and utilize those sessions. Now you'll notice, I just want to show you one more thing before we move on to these other pieces, the attorney information. So I think Brian did add a comment if I saw it pop up there. I haven't been looking at all of the comments, but the pick list right now will be updated shortly in IowaDocs, but right now it's only working with one form solely because there's just some work to be done there in the forms to update them, but it will be updated shortly. But to fill out that pick list, you do the same thing here. I'm just going to hit attorney information. But a pick list has a specific session name that it's going to keep, or an answer source is what it's actually called. I use the older term pick list. I'm going to hit create new session. I can't provide really a name there, but it's going to let me go into an interview. Start that session. I'm going to answer a few attorneys here. I'll just do 3. So we'll do attorney. We'll do simple so we can see it. Attorney 1. We'll add another. Attorney 2. And add a third one. Attorney 3. Now we've got 3 attorneys we could pick from. Well, here I'll put some numbers in, just so we see that. When I'm done, I just want to save those sessions or answers, so I'm just going to hit finish. I'm going to ignore the unanswered questions. It'll let me download that answer file if I want, but I'm going to leave it as is and go back to my account. So now you see I've got all in progress completed. Now I've got an answer sources tab. That's my attorney answer source for the attorney information. And it's going to be used for other templates. In fact, this session, if I go back into it, I can enter an old session just by clicking on it. It will take me right into the latest template that I used with that set of answers. So I just clicked on that session. It's going to load that session up here in just a second. So now when we use that pick list or that answer source, oh, I'm in the wrong template. I've got to go to 120 or 119. I'm going to load up 119, which is the template that's currently using that answer source. So now when I hit that select button, I see those 3 attorneys that I've entered in that answer source. So I can still go fill out that attorney information, enter all my information that I want to come into the documents, and then when the templates are all updated, they'll just have that select button just like we see here. Come through and select the attorney and hit select, and it pulls them right in. All right. Save my answers, and we'll go ahead and discard this session. We won't generate a document. That is it for how you can come through and use sessions and answer questions, generate your content through the HotDocs market. I'm going to move on to some of these other pieces of the application, and then at the end we'll do some Q&A. If there are questions you'd like to have answered now, I'd be happy for you to interject a little bit. Otherwise, we can wait until the end. All right, so we'll go ahead and move on. We're just going to cover these 4 items here and what they mean and what you can do there. So transaction history is going to show your purchase details for any active subscriptions or archived or suspended subscriptions or expired subscriptions. Right now we only have 1 subscription, so it's just an active subscription. But I can actually look at the purchase details. So it'll show me the unit price and the total price, how many licenses. I've got 5 licenses. Again, that may not all be right numbers, by the way. That's just what I entered. And I can go to purchase details, and it will show me I purchased it with a Visa that ended in those 4 digits. That's all we're storing. And then I can see even a transaction ID. And I have some options, too, as well to see whether or not I want that subscription to auto-renew. This is set up as an annual subscription. It would auto-renew on January 9th, 2016. unless I choose to uncheck that box. I can see the card that was specifically used with the order, what address, and everything that it was done at that time. So I can see all that information at any time when I log into the site. Content sharing. So if I purchased multiple licenses, it will show me I purchased 5 licenses, and I've only used 1 of those seats. So I've got 4 of 5 seats remaining. So content sharing is where you manage that. So if you're working at a firm and you currently use it with 5 different users, only 1 person needs to actually go and make the purchase for the 5 users. And then the remaining users, you simply share that subscription with them. So for example, if I wanted to invite a specific user, I could come in and hit type in their email address and hit send invitation. So I'll send one to myself. Hit send invitation. Then it's going to send me an invitation so that I'll get it in an email with a link that I can click to log in or register if I'm not a user yet, and then I'll have access to the IowaDocs content. So that's how you add your subscribers to your subscription. And then you can cancel that subscription as well. Point out one more interesting thing here. The person who makes the purchase does not have to use one of those seats. They do by default, but you can see here, IowaDocs User 1, I can actually revoke myself as one of those seats. So then I wouldn't be able to assemble documents with the subscription. I would be just basically the purchaser, and I can invite 5 people from within my firm to be able to use that. That's content sharing. Connected applications. So this is a really exciting and neat thing as HotDocs Market is launched. Some users, I know there are there's at least one IowaDocs subscriber that uses document services already. Document services is a cloud offering that HotDocs has offered for you to be able to push your own HotDocs content into the cloud and use it in a web-based environment. And that application has some nice features to it for collaborating, sharing answer files, and doing other things. It's been released for around 2 years now, and so that's always been available. However, it was you had to subscribe to document services to be able to use it with your content. An exciting thing with the HotDocs Market release is that there is now a free document services subscription for you to be able to use market subscribed content. So when you subscribe to content within the HotDocs Market, you don't have to use it only in the HotDocs Market. You can also use it in document services for free at no additional charge. And then if you want to publish your own content to document services, then that may be a separate subscription. But your market content is readily available to you within the document services application. So right here in Connected Applications is where you'd be able to go and click on that button to create a free account and be able to access your market content right within document services. That's an exciting thing. Also, we anticipate integration with other software products coming in the future. So there's some nice entry points, and so there will be some other applications in the future where they may choose to also allow you to use market content right within their application, even possibly pushing data out of a client matter system right into the interviews for you. So we'll continue to see that change and grow as the product is released. And then finally, my details. Some important things to cover here. Basically, basic contact information, pretty straightforward. If you're a nonprofit organization and have a tax exemption number, this is where you could set that up. Email addresses. So you always have a primary email address that you're logged into as a user, but you can also add aliases. The reason that might be important is that the list, you may subscribe to the market with an email address that's different than what is a part of the membership organization. And the email address is the key to it recognizing you as a member of the membership organization. So this email address is in the Iowa State Bar Association. But if I had registered with a different personal email address or business address, but there was a different email address as a part of the Iowa State Bar that I needed to list, that's where I would list it as an alias. I can see my account information. I can close my account from here if I need to, or view any recent activity. If there were failed login attempts, I'll be notified of that, change my password. And then some important preferences here where I can update my credit card information for any purchases that I'm making. Then I also have some options for both communications that will come to me and interview options. So just a quick note about those. By default, when you subscribe to the market, you will be opted into receiving updates for any of your subscriptions. So if you subscribe to IowaDocs and they publish an update, you'll automatically get an email notification about that update. You can opt out of that if you want. And then you can also choose to opt in about changes to the HotDocs market or additional offers from other publishers. And so you can opt into some additional notifications as well. So this, what you're seeing here, is the default options. Also with interview options, you can opt out of saving answer files. So if you don't want any of your answer files to be saved on the market, you can turn that option off, and you can always upload an answer file before you start the session and then download that answer file like we saw when you hit finish. You get a download link, and you could download your answer. So if you don't want any of your data permanently stored up in the marketplace, you do have that option to turn this off and be able to just upload and download answer files and save them somewhere locally. By default, that option is on, so you have the benefit of those answers being saved. All right. That is the basic overview of the HotDocs market, how you can subscribe and use your content with IowaDocs. And now I'm going to open up to a little bit of Q&A. What questions do you have that I can answer for you? All right. We either did a very good job of giving you an overview, or some people, like I often do, might be talking on mute. So if you do have further questions, feel free to contact HotDocs support. We're there. You can see the email and the phone number right there. You can call them today. You can call them right now with questions if you have them. And we sure appreciate you taking the time to come to the webinar today. We hope it's been a benefit to you. This is the first of multiple webinars this month. We'll be holding one tomorrow, as well as, I believe, 3 more this month. So if you have further questions or just want to come and join us again and see this overview again, we're happy to have you. Thank you, everyone, for your time, and have a great and wonderful afternoon.
Thanks, Mark.